I'm going to migrate to my laptop. Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Bill Graff, and I have Boyd Handley with us today with the Handley Law Office. Welcome to the Senior Estate Concierge Show. We are a full-service organization that provide senior services of all types for seniors and families that need help going through the transition of life. And sometimes it's very difficult to find good, reliable, trusting resources. So our goal is to bridge those gaps and help seniors and families find all those services that they need. It could be anything from legal services, as we're going to talk about today, or it could be medical services. It could be aging at home. It could be assisted living location services, real estate services, financial services, whatever that a family may need. They're not sure where to go. There's a lot of resources out there. So when a working adult has parents that need help and they're working, they're busy, they're not really sure where to find the best help. So that's what we're here for. It's a free call. You call us and we will just consult with you and do the best that we can to help you. We want to be a resource and solutions organization more than anything else. So that's what the Senior Estate Concierge is all about. This month, we've been talking a lot about the future of senior care and what it might look like, what the changes are with COVID, and planning for the future. So today, again, I have Boyd Handley with us. Boyd is a part of the organization, and we're so happy to have you, Boyd, in the group. Boyd is an estate planning, an attorney that does a lot of elder law, mainly elder law. So we're going to let Boyd introduce himself, and then we'll just have a chat and we'll talk about some of the issues with elder services and elder law services. Okay, so Boyd, please introduce yourself.
Well, thank you, Bill. Again, Boyd Handley with the Handley Law Office. We're in the Katy Fulshire area. This is my second career. I was a geologist for 35 years and went back to law school while I was working, and decided about 5 years ago to get out of the oil patch and do what I've always wanted to do, practice law. I do in my office where you do probate, estate planning, guardianship, special needs law, elder law, of course, SSI and Medicaid. A lot of my practice is with families with special needs kids or adults with disabilities. I've got a daughter who's 26 and we have guardianship. So a lot of my practice is with guardianships and things of that nature. Also help my aging parents prior to them dying. So that's how I got interested in the elder law, helping them with the nursing homes and the Medicaid and all of that. So, I'm doing this now as a second career because I enjoy it. I enjoy helping families with kids with special needs and adults with special needs and going through the hills and valleys of understanding that because we've done it on our own. So that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Very good. And that doesn't sound good. Not sure what's going on there. So that's great, Boyd. And so you got into law because you saw a need. You saw more or less, I mean, you wanted to do law, like, as you said, but when it got to helping and doing elder law, why did you do that? Was it because of your parents or?
Well, mostly because of my parents. And also, as I started practicing law, I started seeing a lot of issues with the sons and daughters of the elderly. And, they're being put into a nursing home and they might not have a power of attorney, a medical power of attorney, and even at the death of the parents, the issues that can arise without having a will and proper documents. So between my parents and seeing the issues that came up, I've gradually gone toward that practice of law also.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Oh, that sounds awful, whatever that is. But anyway, so we'll keep on going. So I understand that you handle a lot of guardianships. So if you don't mind, take a little time, explain a guardianship, why it's important, and then maybe we'll get into a little bit of some of the alternatives to that. But
Sure. Yeah, there's a couple of times in people's lives when you need guardianships. If you've got a child with special needs or with a disability that cannot make it on their own, when they turn 18, unfortunately in Texas, they become adults. Whether they're available or have the capacity to become an adult or not, parents have to go through a guardianship process at age 18 in order to continue to helping these kids as they were doing when they were 17. The other avenues where you may need guardianship, if you've had an adult that's been in a catastrophic accident and is no longer has the capacity to take care of their life, you may have to go get guardianship on them. Even with a elderly person, you may have a person that doesn't have a power of attorney, a medical power of attorney from a friend or from their kids. And the only way in Texas to look after these adults that are having something like dementia or cannot take care of themselves, if you don't have the proper documentation, is unfortunately go through guardianship. So we see that a lot with individuals that you do not have all the necessary documents. Also do a few where you have an individual that may be living on the street. They may not have any more relatives. They're in bad need, and you may have the Harris County Guardianship group take over guardianship, and then again we have to go through court in order to get guardianship for those injured individuals.
Mm-hmm. So going through guardianship is all through the courts then, is that?
That's correct.
Right?
Guardianship is through the courts where if you have something like medical power of attorney or power of attorney, then that's not through the courts. But guardianship is a court effort, and then the county court, probate court, is actually responsible for the ward of who we call the person under guardianship for as long as you have guardianship, and you have to check in with the court once a year and have your guardianship letters renewed. So the court is in constant review of that guardianship, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what's an alternative to a guardianship?
Alternatives are like joint bank accounts, power of attorney, which will allow you to help with financial and business decisions for the individual. The medical power of attorney will allow you to talk to the doctors and make medical decisions on the individuals. And these only come into force if the person is incapacitated. Now, we can do them where they come in as soon as you sign the document. That's the way I have it with my wife. But a lot of times you have the elderly people that do not want their kids in their business. So they get these signed where they have to be incapacitated. And if the individual is really paranoid about someone helping him, we can have two doctors that have to declare the individual incapacitated. But these two documents are almost more important than a will, because at the end of the day, if you don't have these documents, then you can't take care of someone, and you have to go through guardianship. Also tell my parents is if they've got it's a little bit out of the ordinary here, but even if they have a kid going to college, you need to have something like this on them, because if they have an accident, or even an elderly person has an accident, you don't have the authority to call the hospital and check on them and see how they're doing. So,
okay, so that would be so the power of attorney would be different than the guardianship, as it's not going through the court.
That's correct. Yeah, those are not going through the court. And the individual that signs these documents can end the power of attorney or medical power of attorney whenever they want to. So they have complete control over those documents.
Okay, but so a young adult or an adult child that has a learning disability, say for instance your daughter, and I've got a niece that's the same way. Yeah. Does that require a guardianship, or can you still do a power of attorney?
You can still do a power of attorney if they're high functioning, if they have a certain level of IQ, if they've had IQ testing, then you can go about with a power of attorney, medical power of attorney, joint bank accounts and things of that nature. But if they're disabled, have intellectual disability or a few other disabilities where they really don't understand what's going on as far as contracts and things of that nature, then guardianship is the only way. In order to sign a medical power of attorney or power of attorney, you have to have the capacity to understand the legal ramifications of those documents and what they actually mean to you. There is one other document which, as far as capacity, there's a gray area, which is called a decision-making agreement that individuals can have with their parents or someone that takes care of them. And that particular document does not say what the capacity is needed in order to sign it. So you may be able to get by with your loved one signing one of those documents, and that document will allow you to sit into meetings with your loved one and explain to them what's going on in the meeting. But at the end of the day, that individual has to make the decision themselves. But that's kind of in between the power of attorney, medical power of attorney, and guardianship.
Okay. So it's sounds like a pretty complicated thing, but I know that you know what you're doing well, so that's what's important.
Yeah, it's also a very emotional time. I know with my daughter, we knew she was going to have guardianship, but it's almost like someone hitting you in the face with a bat or something. Very emotional. No, you're taking away rights from these individuals, and it's really a hard decision. I know when we were doing it, my daughter's 26 now. When we did it at age 18, we were still going to court and standing in front of the judge. So that's very hard to do. And a lot of parents, wonder what you do. Should I take all these rights away from them? Well, guardianship can be partial or it can be full. And so, you can, a lot of my clients, they can still vote. Some of them still have a driver's license. I don't know how much they drive, but so, we can pick and choose partial guardianship. And also guardianship is not permanent. You can always go back to court. And as these young people or even elderly people or someone that's been in an accident improves, we can either give guardianship back to them or give various rights back to them. So we have a lot of flexibility in that.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah. So well, let's talk a little bit about wills and wills in Texas.
Yep.
Should everybody have a will?
Yeah, everyone should have one. It's a lot easier to spend a little bit of money up front and have one because what happens if you die in Texas without a will, it's called intestate. And the state of Texas have intestate succession laws that they will tell you how your property will be distributed. So it's always good to have a will to not have to go through that. Now, there's situations where the beneficiaries, if someone dies without a will, we can still go to court and get the estate given to them properly, but it just takes time and money. Where if you do that to start with, always, again, I tell my clients and families that if you have kids that are under the age of 18, you definitely need to have a will with a guardian named in your will, or we can have a separate document attached to your will. Because again, if you die without mentioning that for your young ones, then someone has to go to probate court and go through guardianship, which you do anyway. But it's a lot easier for someone named as the guardian to go to court and to get guardianship. And that's especially important if you have children or loved ones with special needs.
Okay. Since this is really that echo is bad, but since we are talking about the senior estate concierge and legal issues for seniors, what are some of the major issues that you see with when the seniors or the family of seniors coming to you, and what do you see that they most need help with? And what would you suggest then from that? What are the things they need to do to prepare?
Yeah, a lot of issues that I have with seniors coming to me is when one of the spouses die. And in Texas, we're a community property state, so it really, if you're living in the home and one of your spouses dies, and say the senior wants to move in with one of their children, they can't sell the home if the spouse dies without a will, because the deed still has the spouse that's deceased on the deed. And there's things in Texas such as the right of survivorship. Everyone can do this, but it's very important with elderly people. So when one spouse dies, if you have a right of survivorship document, then that automatically passes without probate the 50% of community property that the other spouse that's deceased had owned to the remaining spouse. And then there's clear title to sell the house. So I see that quite often, or one of the spouses dying without a will, and then we have to go through a affidavit of heirship, which can only be done 6 months after the death in order to get clear title. Now, there are some situations where a title company will allow that within 6 months. So again, all of these things that if you even got a very simple will prior to your death, you wouldn't have to be seeing that. But I see that quite often in the senior realm where one spouse dies, and you're trying to consolidate everything, and that was just not done.
So in essence, it just delays the whole process.
Basically. It delays the process. It costs more money to have to go and take care of that. And also, if you've got a spouse going into a nursing home, you're trying to get Medicaid to pay for nursing homes, and you need to sell a house. Of course, your house does not count against Medicaid. So I see a lot of situations with that is how can we sell our parents' house and them still qualify for nursing home. We talked to them about putting into an annuity and things of that nature. So it's the planning that a lot of the seniors could have done prior to them getting to that point that you just not see, because when the seniors were doing their wills many years ago, you didn't have as much information going out to them and as we do today. So, but mostly with the deeds, I see that quite often.
Yeah, good point. And I think you bring up a lot of good points in that whole answer, and that's a lot of reasons why the senior estate concierge is here. Is that you might have some financial issues to take care of. You got the title of the home and the deed. I'm a real estate seniors real estate specialist, as you know, and so I see that quite often. And when I'm selling a senior's home and whatever their situation is, their transition. So that's one of the things that our audience hopefully will understand, and I can let everybody know, is that we're here to help with all those parts of the puzzle. We really want to bridge the gaps between legal and financial and real estate and moving and finding assisted living if that's the case, or aging in place. So it's good that you touched on all those different areas, really.
Yeah. And I'm also seeing a lot of issues if you've bought property or a house, and a lot of this is senior people too. If you bought property, a house from an individual, and may not have title insurance on it, it's really, I'm starting to see a lot, because everyone's selling right now, and I'm seeing a lot of issues with not having clear title, and so a lot of that is coming about, as I'm sure you well know. So even with that, you need to really have everything done correctly.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of those things that can really bog down a sale of a home if it's not a clear title. And I've had some that were seniors living in their home for 50, 60 years, and there might have been a mechanic's lien from 20 years ago. And how do you get rid of those, right? Or whatever the case. So it can be a challenge. So, well, that's excellent discussion. What do you think? How do you see COVID changing things? Has it changed anything? What do you see for seniors and families that are now dealing with the legal issues?
Well, the nursing homes are opening up a little bit now. I know that during the COVID crisis, we were able, and we still are right now, able to do online notaries by Zoom and or whatever avenue you're using. And I did a couple of those in nursing homes where we had an iPad in front of the lady and had two witnesses with her and doing that. What in the courts, for instance, we're doing all uncontested cases by Zoom. I know there's one court in Harris County and two in Fort Bend that's already come out to say that we're going to continue the Zoom hearings, and they've run very well. I haven't seen hardly any issues with the Zoom hearings, and even with my clients, I'm seeing everyone by Zoom except when we have a will signing. And I think you'll see that more in a continued situation, even as we go forward. But, the issues with that is that a lot of our seniors are not, understanding of the technology required for that. So I think that's going to be a huge challenge. And, hopefully, with the vaccinations, we can start seeing a lot of our seniors in person because I think that's a big hindrance to them having to go through those formats.
Yeah, I agree with you absolutely. Seniors, working with seniors is a little different ball game, and I know even in the real estate market, it's they want to be met with. They want to trust you. They want to be sitting down with you face to face in most cases and get to know you, who you are. It's a whole different thing with millennials. Millennials will do everything online, no big deal, right? But seniors, they want to know you and trust you and have you visit with them, right?
Yeah, and as you see with my parents or any other elderly people, they can be 1 year where they're tip top and understanding everything, and then they can go down very quickly where that computer literacy or even working on their phones and stuff can be a real hard situation. So even us as children of elders, we really need to understand what they're going through and even have patience with them. I have more patience than I used to with everyone, but you've got to understand we're in that circle, and I think that's one of the hard things for our kids and myself to understand as we deal with our parents or with elderlies to have that compassion and slow down and understand when we're dealing with them.
Yeah. Very well said. Very well said, Boyd. I know I can share a story with my father is the same way. And couple points I'll make. One, on the iPad, we got him an iPad 1 year for Christmas and thought, well, this might help him stay in touch with his grandkids and stay in touch with us, and maybe he can play solitaire or whatever on it. He wouldn't even open the package. He said, no way, I'm not going there. So that was interesting, but a really good book, as you talk about having understanding on how they're feeling. A really good book is called How to Say It to Seniors. And the very beginning of the book, really, as I've read it, it just really struck a chord with me, is because when you realize that they are losing control, number one, right, of their life, most of the time they want to be in control. They're losing some control, and they may have some ailments that are really bothering them. So and they want to leave a legacy. So when you get if you can put yourself in that frame of mind of where they are in their life, and they don't want to let go, they don't want to lose control, they want to leave a legacy, but they don't know how. And now everybody's trying to come into their life and helping them, but they can't, because they can't do everything on their own. So it's an important point, is to have that understanding and take your time to listen to them.
Well, it's like the people here in Senior Estate Concierge, we understand how to talk to elderlies, how to be compassionate with, and it's just like myself with a special needs child. They're very different than other children in certain ways, and you have to have, lack of a better word, that mentality or the ability to work with them, praise them, and go forward. And, it's the same way with elderly. You have to have the compassion, slow down, and, try to put yourself in their position. As you said, they're losing some of their abilities. They still want to be as independent as possible. And, you have to have that understanding for sure.
Right. Yeah, and you bring up that fact about the senior estate concierge and the folks that are in the organization, the companies. What I love about this group, and I think you hit on it once already earlier in the show, is that just about everybody that's in the organization as part of us, they understand our mission, they understand our vision, and the reason why they're here is because they've gone through it. Most of them have gone through it, and they understand how difficult it is, right? So, and you've got the same story, and that's what's so great about what I feel is so great about this whole organization is the people that are here are really caring and understanding, and they're really here to help.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, well, thank you very much, Boyd. Anything else you'd like to share with us, please do. Any questions from the audience for us? Do you have anything else that you'd like to share with us, Boyd?
No, I'm doing this because I enjoy it, and so it's very fulfilling to be able to help people at this point in my life. So I'm really enjoying this.
Good. Can I ask you to make a couple comments about the senior estate concierge also? And since why did you become a member? What was it that you saw about this organization that you liked, and what has it been your experience since you've been here?
I was invited to the group with a young lady that has now moved back out of state, and got to know a lot of you. Still have a lot more to know, but it was just a compassion. Everyone loves what they're doing, and very knowledgeable what they're doing. And I think when you put all those qualities together, then it's a great group. And, I can go in and, give my clients the names of the people in the group because I understand they're very good at what they're doing. They're compassionate, which is the main thing. And I really enjoys getting up in the morning and doing what they're doing. So, that's what I really like about the group.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you for those comments. Well, again, thank you for being here, Boyd, and for anybody in the audience. Oh, you're welcome. And glad that you're with us in the group, and look forward to absolutely getting to know you better, of course, and helping seniors and families. So if there's no other questions from the audience, want to say thank you again for joining us. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Boyd. We are here to help. We're here to help first and foremost, be a resource and solution. We don't sell products. We're here to help you. So thanks again. And Boyd, we'll see you soon.
Sounds good.
Thank you all. Have a good day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.